tidal wave. It was just, about for years had been building up, and then it just landed, and it was just drowning the whole time.
Being a working girl and getting into drugs and being in abusive relationships does harden somebody up.
And I feel like I've lost 5 years. I can't even remember those 5 years.
You'll see the serious side of it and the bad side of it if you get addicted.
Striving to get to that high again was just impossible. I never even experienced that first high again.
And I had my first puff, and I remember I was just sitting there and my face was like this, having a smoke, and then instantly, as soon as I'd finished it, my face just broke out into this huge fucking smile, I was just beaming.
They introduced it to me at a work do, and they were really respectable. They had money and they were wearing suits, and they didn't look like people who were sort of losers, and so I thought, well, that's who I want to be, and if they can do it, I can.
There was always people in my lounge, girls, little ho-hos that I'd call them, pee-hos. They'd come round and flaunt themselves and, think they thought it was a really cool lifestyle. Oh, I'd love to be with a drug dealer, and I'm just like, well, it's not that fun, but yeah, anyway.
From gangs, I started off in minor drugs, dealing pot, stealing cars, that sort of thing. And pretty much at the age of 18, I was introduced to what people know as P now, but back then it was speed.
You look at a lifeline. If someone gave me a lifeline right now, in that moment, if I had my lifeline, I'd just draw the big black cloud. That's where the storm was starting to brew. That was it for me,
I think if you thought about anything that you own or possess, then addiction will take that. It doesn't care about your financial status, it doesn't care about your educational background, it doesn't care which family you were born into, it doesn't care about your colour, whether you're Polynesian, European, it makes no distinction.
But it was just the norm. It was just, you were awake for 2 weeks, and then you'd crash, and it didn't matter where you were, what you were doing, you'd just crash. And I'd crash for a whole day and night, and then I'd wake up and there'd be people in my lounge, and I'd be like, oh, yep, and then a pipe would go around again, and that'd be me for another 2 weeks.
My life was work. I just worked and worked and worked. I worked 7 days a week as well, and so I remember going to sign up deals with clients, and I'd been nightclubbing all night. I'd just rushed home, had a quick shower. I was even going, and I remember one guy, he said, this is the fastest contract I've ever signed, because I'd just be going, right, sign here. I talk fast anyway, but it's amazing how fast I could talk.
It all went from petty crime, graduating into the bigger scale of crime, the kidnappings, bashing people, the meth.
I used to cry myself to sleep most nights and just thinking, I need to fucking stop. But I didn't know how, and because of the amount that I smoked, I thought, fuck, it's going to take me so long to get over this.
I think for a year there was a time where I didn't have a day without it. It was breakfast, lunch and dinner. And I went down to 46 kilos. I wasn't looking good, I looked sick.
That was it. More gear, so I could know I could wake up tomorrow and still have gear in my pocket, because that was always the dreaded thing. I can't go to sleep because I've got nothing left in my pocket, and I don't want to do those days anymore. So it was like, keep going, man. You just keep going.
And I did challenge her a couple of times. I said, "Pro, I think you're taking drugs." No, absolutely not. And no, and the more I tried to say to her, "I'm really worried, I think you were doing this," she was like, lie. And suddenly you start noticing things like the skin was getting bad, scabs and hollow, and getting thin and greasy, just no care about her appearance. I thought, this isn't good.
There was still people driving around in cars from car park to car park, and that was their life. They're like texting me, yeah, meet me at this car park, and they'll fucking meet there, and I smoke crack, and it's like, meet me at this car park, meet there and sell some weed, or buy this stolen item, and it's like, when you think about it, and when you fucking zoom out and you look at it, and you follow their fucking car, all their life is driving to different fucking car parks and people's houses doing drugs and buying drugs and stealing things.
The night before we got arrested, there was me and my partner and someone else in the room, and I said, you know, police are going to come and get me soon. And I used to actually hope that they would, so it would be over.
She's allowed to have the harder emotions, but we're not allowed to express anger or anything. You know, she controls it. And so it's very hard for us because, you know, we can't say to her, you completely fucked up our lives for 3 years.
I just thought they were boring. It was just like, nah, because, you know, you'd go around and have coffee with someone that didn't use, and it was just like, oh, fuck, can you just hurry up and fuck off because I want to pull my pipe out? Like, that was just what it was like. It was just like, oh, you're just boring. It's just like, I want to have a pipe with my coffee, not have a coffee and chat.
She said to me, I remember when I met you, you were wearing a hoodie and I said hello to you, and you just dismissed me like I wasn't even there. And all I remember thinking was that, she goes, all I remember thinking was, wow, that's a tough, angry boy. You know, and that's funny because I remember during that time, I didn't think that's how people saw me. I didn't know that people were looking at me and being worried.
I lost everything. I lost my daughter, I lost my family, I lost my respect. I lost my reputation, I lost my whole house, I lost all my furniture, my belongings. I lost my health, I lost half my teeth.
Doing this course about leadership and, you know, trying to create a life for myself, but behind closed doors in the background I'm smoking up and doing drugs. And I just felt like I was a bullshit artist, like I was pulling the wool over people's eyes, you know, trying to provide an example. But what you don't know about me is I'm a drug addict.
We did a map of our offending, and I was looking at it, and pretty much my chart could tell me what lives I'd ruined and at what point in my time I'd ruined them.
Just need to learn to deal with situations because I'm not used to it. Like, you know, the bank rang up last week and, oh, the loan hasn't gone through, and I'm like, fuck, and I get real stressed out and I just can't handle quick things like that. So I'm just learning to deal with all that sort of stuff again. Can't throw my toys out of the cot every time something bad happens, and it happens to everyone.
People want recovery because it's about getting on with your life. It's about having a life. If it wasn't that, then no one would be in it.
You know, if people say, well, what's wrong, what's happening in your life? And you say, well, actually, this is what's happening in my life. And you need to understand that I'm dealing with a daughter who's drug addicted, and I'm raising my granddaughter, and, you know, all of these things. And do you know, it was so liberating to make the decision to talk about it.
I looked at it when I got out of rehab, and where I am today is I was back at kindergarten. You know, that's how I look at it. I look at it like that. I look at it as of having to start life again.
There is hope. While there is life, there is hope. And be strong, you can do it. Every journey, I know it's like one of those sayings, but every journey starts with the first step. Just take the first step and just live in today. You don't have to say, oh, it's going to take me 10 years or 3 years. Just live in today and get through today and learn what you can from today. And you're going to grow and you're going to get there.